Welcome back to the Miguel Sokoba Show with me, Miguel Sokoba, and today we're going to talk about 2009 Samurai Sentai Shinkenger. Shinkenger follows the story of the Shiba clan and their group of retainers. The current head of the Shiba clan, Shiba Takaru, or Shinken Red, invests his retainers to fight against the evil forces of the Gadoshu. The retainers are Kabuki actor and Takaru's number one meat writer, Ikinami Ryunosuke, or Shinken Blue, Team Mom, Mako Shirashi, or Shinken Pink, Slacker, Tani Chiaki, or Shinken Green, and the youngest of the group, Insecurity Haniori Kotoha, or Shinken Yellow. They fight as the 18th generation of Samurai Sentai Shinkenger. They're later joined by Takaru's best friend, sushi chef turned samurai, Unimori Genta, or Shinken Gold. The thing I like the most about Shinkenger's plot is how much the show gets out of the family inheritance aspect of the team. The minute these five people were born, they were destined to become Shinkengers, and we get to see how they grow to feel and think about this fact throughout the series. This scene best from my favorite character, Chiaki, who many of the early episodes actually focus on, which makes sense since he's very relatable in terms of his inheritance theme, because he wants nothing to do with his samurai craft. His father, the previous Shinken Green, being the only one of these guys' parents who didn't raise their child to have the mentality of a soldier from the age of 5. Chiaki just being a chill guy who's enjoyed the last bit of his childhood before boom, he has to fight demons now. A situation that would make anyone feel kind of antsy, especially if they're actively behind everyone else in terms of fighting ability like Chiaki is. But this doesn't keep Chiaki down. Him swallowing his pride and decking himself to be the best samurai he can be, planning to overcome Takaru. A goal at first starting entirely from spite, since as group leader, Takaru is essentially the symbol of the life Chiaki has been forced into, but as his attitude towards Takaru and the samurai lifestyle improves, it becomes a goal for self-improvement. Proof that he's not dead weight to this group, but a valuable member in his own right. He's also one of the 2 people on the team who can actually dress. Though the reason he's my favorite character is because I just find his perspective and journey in regards to Shinkenger stuff the most relatable and easy to get behind, but him not being an eyesore also helps. No, but like, were people dumpster diving back in 2009? Especially the women, because oh my god, what are Mako and Kotoha wearing like half the time, man? Talking about bad dressers, we got Ryunosuke, Chiaki's exact opposite. Him immediately assimilating the Shinkenger's lifestyle as Takaru's biggest glazer. Bro messes up in a fight once in front of Takaru and starts begging for forgiveness in the fountain. He's honestly kind of annoying, but he goes to not be, as Takaru makes it vocal to him over and over that he doesn't like the glaze. Ryunosuke has to find his own personal reason to follow Takaru beyond him being Shinken Red. Seen best when Takaru is forced to fight against Fujiuzo alone, and Ryunosuke begs him not to, but he eventually lets him go anyway, because even if it's not the best thing for Shinken Red to do, he knows that Takaru needs to do this, and he can respect that. I also find a lot of the manners they give him kind of funny. Like, he's a kabuki performer, so he'll just do odd things to represent that from time to time. Like the finale, whereas everyone else leaves the base, Ryunosuke is just doing some weird ceremonial dance. Or how in the ending song, he jumps out of a carriage and instructs a pose. Just an interesting dude, man. The other member of the group who kind of glazes Takaru is Kotoha. But unlike Ryunosuke, who does it due to being overly dedicated to the role, Kotoha does it due to being unconfident in the role, as she wasn't supposed to be Shinken Yellow. Her sister was. When she got sick, Kotoha was forced to do it. Something that weighs heavily on her, as she doesn't think she's good enough to be a Shinkenger, or do much of anything. It's pretty sad, as she doesn't really get over this feeling until she stops seeing herself as a replacement, but as a Shinkenger in her own right, and focuses on things that she can do, getting out of her shell more and more, which is also pretty heartwarming to see. It's especially helpful that I cast an actress who makes it very hard not to feel bad she starts hating on herself. Like, when you see her say that there's nothing that she's good at, you have to start joining in with the other characters being like, that's not true, believe in yourself, love yourself now. Like, you just feel bad, and it adds to her character a lot in my opinion. There you have the final member of the main team, Mako, essentially mother figure of the group, being the one most in tune with their emotions, especially Takaru, who doesn't like to talk about his. She's probably my least favorite, mainly because I think the whole mother thing is the most boring character trait of the main 5. It one individually explored the least. Like, there's a lot of Mako and someone else episodes and just episodes about Mako, which he does get individual focus though. It's actually done pretty decently. The main example being the episode where we meet her parents, which does a lot to take the boring mother trait and make it to a tragic one, as she uses the whole being a mom thing as a distraction from being raised to be a child soldier since the age of 5, where her parents also abandoned her. Like, it's really sad, and the part where Mako and her mom finally meet up again is generally heartwarming, but it doesn't change how I feel about her the rest of the time, especially with the rivalry they try to set up with Dayu, which they do just enough with me to remember it was a thing in the show at all, but it was so boring every time it came up. After her, we have my second favorite character, and the 6th Genta. Some people think he's annoying, but I'm pretty sure they would explain why they feel that way. They probably would start bringing up stuff I think is funny. Like, my guy is a sushi chef who liked Takaru so much he retrained himself to become a samurai. Like, that's hard. I also like how the show focuses on the differences in his mindset as a fighter because he wasn't raised as a samurai. Such as in the episode where he tries to kill Juzo, a man who he knows is a terrible monster, but he just can't bring himself to kill something that's at least a little bit human. A samurai could do it, look at this, not exactly a samurai. And maybe that's needed on a team ruled by such heavy rules and traditions like the Shinkengers. Finally, we have the main man himself, Takaru. Takaru's a real wild ride of a guy. As the 18th head of the Shiba clan, Takaru starts the show wanting to fight alone, not wanting to bear the responsibility of having retainers are essentially people ready to die for you at any given moment. Throughout the first few episodes, Takeru gives multiple warnings or chances for members of the team to leave if they so choose. He doesn't even want to let his childhood friend Genta join after showing himself to be more than capable for similar reasons. Something you at first think is due to just not wanting that responsibility. Because having people ready to die for you just because of your last name, or because you were friends when you were both 5, is a lot of responsibility for anybody to handle. But his actual reason is a lot sadder, because I lied. Takeru isn't the 18th head of the Shiba clan. He's actually just the bi-double so that the real 18th head, Kaoru Shiba, could come of age and eventually take his position. He didn't want a team, not just because of the responsibility, because he knew he was lying to them the entire time. Because the minute Kaoru shows up, Takeru has no purpose being around anymore. All he's ever had was the role of shaking red. And with that gone, he's the guy with a sword and a flip phone that can turn to a brush. Sword part is the reason Fuwajuzo, a half-human, half-Kuroshi guy, is so interested in Takeru, because he feels that Takeru has no reason to live outside of fighting, just like him. Which would be true if Takeru didn't have his retainers. This is where the beauty of this twist comes in. The thing that makes the Shinken Red twist so good outside of the show, just doing a good job planting seeds for it, how it touches upon the theme of tradition. Throughout the show, you see how all 5 of the main Shinkengers deal with the idea of this being the thing they're destined to do, a life they had no choice in. Takeru being the ultimate example of that, because he's the Lord, the man related to the person who started it all. So have Takeru not actually be the real Lord, or instead a poor boy forced into an unfortunate situation and thrown away the minute he got all cleaned up, tells us the audience that the Shinkengers never truly needed to follow tradition to be strong or to do their job. This is also where Kaoru comes in. Kaoru tries her absolute hardest to make the transition between her and Takeru as smooth as possible, but it never feels right to the other members of the team. They can't find it in themselves to follow her beyond that's what tradition tells them to do. Something that, even though it was the same with Takeru, kind of allowed them to get past that and develop reasons to fight with him that were deeper than that. Feelings that won't go away just because they learned he was a fraud. Takeru is the man they believe in and the one they want to fight alongside. A trust that allows Takeru to finally find value in his life beyond being chicken red. So as long as Ryunosuke, Mako, Chiaki, Kohara, and Genta are in his corner, he has more value than whatever he can do in a fight. The group of Shinkengers that finally defeat the Kodoshu once and for all, not being a lord in his group of retainers, but a group of true friends, with one special man they trust to lead them, a man who believes in the rest of them without question. Yeah, Shinkenger is a pretty good show. The only issue with the show is the villains suck. Like Dokuku and Shikitari are really boring. Akamaru, who I thought was going to be cool, was super boring. I also felt like he just existed to fill up time until we could get to the last episodes with the Kaoru stuff. Then there's Juzo and Dayu, whom the show tries to make interesting, but honestly fails at. Like, they try to do this thing where they pretend to give the villains more depth before revealing they're just as, if not more evil than they seem. Like with Juzo, they reveal that Akamaru turned his wife into a sword, and that leads the Shinkengers to think he might be torn up about that. But he isn't, because he knew the whole time he used that sword to kill people anyway. A twist that's not interesting and honestly makes you realize how interesting Juzo really is as a character without his interactions with Takeru. But other than that, like I said, Shinkenger is pretty good. See you in another review. Miguel Kova signing out.
伝えられずに時間だけが無情に過ぎてくけどいつでもその笑顔救われてきた僕なんだ今だけ泣いていいよずっとここにいるからただ僕はここにいるからうつむいていた顔を上げて君と笑う時まで